Hello, video people. Welcome. We're gonna do a show here. Are you ready, Owen?
I believe so, sir.
Oh wait, what do I have to? I don't have anything to introduce you as. Owen J.J. Stone from what? IQMZ or?
Yeah, or Odocta at Odocta. Yeah.
Said it right. Yeah. Okay. I didn't want to get your letters backwards.
Oh, I got some guy tried to super fish me hard the other day. First he offered me, he's like, I own IAQMZ.com. Would you like to buy it? Here's a link to the offer that I'm trying to make you.
Oh, that's funny.
And I was like,
yeah, why would I want that?
Yeah, I'm surely going to click this link.
Hey, Owen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What would be the URL then? Is it just...
I got it in there, IQMZ.com.
Okay. Dun, 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 dun.
Dun, 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 dun. All right.
Give them audio.
Here we go. Daily Tech News Show is powered by its audience, not outside organizations. To find out more, head to dailytechnewsshow.com/support. This is the Daily Tech News for Friday, August 5th, 2016. I'm Tom Merritt, Len Peralta at Gen Con, Darren Kitchen at DEF CON. So we got a man who can fill in for two people at once. Owen J.J. Stone, a.k.a. Odocta from IQMZ.com is with us. Good to have you back, Owen.
Double the pleasure, double the fun.
Exactly. Now, Len usually illustrates the show. Are you going to attempt to draw anything for us today, or?
I would have drawn something. I didn't know I was drawing. I would have had my pen and pencil.
Oh man! All right,
you know
that's my fault.
But
that's my fault.
Yeah, that's that. You're too. Yeah, I'm. See, now
I don't have a pen here either. But all right. Well, you know what? Maybe that's for the best, for certainly on my end.
Your imagination.
Exactly. Len will be back next week. Go check out his stuff, lenperaltastore.com. Darren will be back as well. But for today, we've got Odocta, and we've got a good topic based on a change from 1Password and the idea of subscription software, something that's frustrating a lot of people, not just us. Let's start with the top stories, though. At the Black Hat Conference, which is also happening, Evan Kirstic, Apple's head of security engineering and architecture, announced the company will start a bug bounty program for security researchers who disclose vulnerabilities in 5 categories to start with. All 5 categories are related to iOS or iOS devices. Cash bounties will be up to $200,000 per bug, depending on the severity. And the program is so Apple. It's currently invite only. With Apple specifically opening it to around a dozen security researchers that have already made significant disclosures to them in the past. Apple plans to slowly expand the program to more researchers and more devices. Apple also offered to match the funds if researchers decide to donate their money to charity. I don't know what you feel about bug bounties, Owen, but I like them. I think it's a good idea. This is a really interesting way to go about one, though.
They're always useful, and they bring about solutions. It's just weird to me that it's like a closed off wall. Why even tell me? Just go directly to these guys, hire them, and then go on about your day. Like announcing it in this way and then sealing off the wall to it just seems weird. You know what I mean? Like, well, it feels weird.
If I had to come up with a justification, the one is answering critics who say, why don't you have a bug bounty program? Now they could point to one. The other thing they did say was, if you discover a vulnerability and you responsibly disclose it to us, then we may let you into the program. So they are sort of encouraging people to approach the wall with their gifts.
Yeah,
you know,
that's exactly what it's like, a present for the king.
Yeah, exactly. I was thinking in my head, like, maybe they should have just made the bug bounty program available in Apple stores, and security researchers could have, lined up on the day they're available to get a limited number that it would be there in the stores.
I guess doing it this way keeps it from going viral when someone announces a bug, because somebody finds a bug, and if they're popular enough or important enough, they write some article about it, and then it becomes this big huge deal. If they close the wall off and things are found, then it's done internally, and they can say, oh well, we fixed this and that, before it gets announced that the problem was afoot.
That's usually a stipulation of all the bug bounty programs anyway, is that you can't tell people about it before we're ready, or you don't get the bounty, right? So I don't know why they'd need to do that, but it does feel very Apple to be like, no, we want even more control.
Exactly. Double wall protection.
Yeah. Spotify's rolling out a new playlist called Release Radar, composed of tracks from newly released albums. This is different than Discover Weekly. First of all, Discover Weekly comes out on Mondays. Release Radar will come out on Fridays. It will only feature tracks released in the past 2 to 3 weeks. And since those tracks are brand new, it can't just look at your playlists and find enough information to come up with the songs. So it's going to analyze not only the audio itself using some deep learning algorithms, but also your entire listening history to try to match songs with you. It reminds me very much of the Music Genome Project that was used by Pandora back when it launched years ago.
It all sounds good if it works.
That's all you care about, right?
That's all I care about. It then it works. Like
songs that I like, yeah.
I've tried a lot of those, like the Genius. A lot of the predictive songs, they just annoy you because yeah, you might get like 2 or 3 songs that are cool, but you run through a lot of things that just don't work out. Well, at least before when I use it for Apple, I have Pandora. I accept the fact that it's a random system and it's different. With Spotify, I'm paying to get what I want, so just throwing things at the wall at me doesn't really play for making something exciting.
Do you use Spotify then? You're a subscriber?
I was a subscriber. Now I'm an Apple Music subscriber.
So that's another reason why this doesn't affect you, because it's not a product you're using.
Yeah, but again, it's still a general service that Apple uses too, like something that tries to predict what I like, and usually they don't work out that well. I mean, if this works really well, then yay. You know, there's so much music coming out now, it's just too much. So any kind of discovery mechanism that you can get outside of a radio wave or satellite radio is amazing.
Yeah.
So,
there's something about this that appeals to me more than Discover Weekly. I curate a playlist that I listen to when I'm in the car very carefully. I remove things from it. I add things from it. I almost feel like it's my personal radio station playlist, right? So I don't want Discover Weekly because I feel like I'm doing a better job. I know myself better. But this is exposing me to music that I wouldn't have known about. And to me, that is a much more valuable thing of like, you wouldn't have been able to find out about this music because it's so new, and yet we can analyze it and say that we have a pretty good confidence that you'll like it. And I find that intriguing, like you said, if it works.
So where else besides the vehicle are you listening to music throughout the day?
Sometimes in the house too. Pretty much those are the only 2 locations though. I don't listen while I run or anything.
When you're in the car, it's hard to like give up your playlist or your enjoyment when you're in the vehicle. I find like even if the radio's on, I want to just click off something I don't like or don't know. When I'm just sitting around, I'm more acceptable to it. Like if I'm at the gym or if I'm walking, or something like that. But like when you're in the car, that's especially out there in that LA traffic. You need some things that really soothe you and make you happy.
Calming music.
Yes. You can't put on some random song you want to choke somebody. So.
Yeah, All You Fascists by Billy Bragg does come up on that playlist from time to time.
But if it works, it works.
Maybe that's a good idea. I don't know. Android and iOS Facebook users in Brazil and Canada will see an open camera window in place of the what's on your mind or what are you doing text that usually prompts you when you open the Facebook app. This is a test they're running. Users can swipe to apply face paint, put some country flag filters in, like Go Canada. First integration of selfie filters from MSQRD, aka Masquerade, since Facebook acquired that company. So it's very Snapchat-like. Test starts today and ends August 21st. Are you Snapchatting? Are you into that stuff?
I have used Snapchat for business purposes, meaning I've put other people on Snapchat for campaigns. I personally do not Snapchat. I've only snapped for 10 days. The first 10 days it came out, I used it. Since then, I only use it to spy on other people snaps. But this is soon to be implemented into InstaSnap. That's what I'm waiting for.
Well, yeah, the Instagram Stories is a Facebook property, but this is not part of that. This is just in the Facebook app, I guess.
For now.
Yeah.
For now.
That's interesting. Will Facebook bring the Masquerade filters and lens type stuff over to Instagram? Can they do that, or will they?
Yeah.
You think they will?
They 100% will. The biggest complaint or thing about InstaSnap right now, everyone says, where's my filters? There's a lot of models out there right now that are still having to go back to Snapchat because they don't look as good as they look with their little halo filter on. So this is most definitely has to come to Instagram. They're already trying to compete with Snapchat, right? That's a core part of Snapchat. You need that, and you already own the company. I can't see it not happening.
Well, and the other thing Facebook's trying to compete is a 15% drop in content creation. People are still sharing lots of stuff, but they're not posting original stuff as much, at least as of February. So
Yes.
they're hoping they're going to test to say like, hey, if we give you something that is more visual right when you open the app, will that encourage people to share more? It'd be interesting to see if that works too.
They got to try something.
HTC announced the launch of Viveport. It's a store for non-gaming, for the most part, although they said they'll take games. But the emphasis is on non-gaming VR apps. The store will be accessed from Vive headsets, web browsers, the PC app, and a mobile app as well. Developers keep 70% of the proceeds. If they put stuff in the store, they can offer in-app purchases and subscriptions. So as a store, it's pretty standard. At the same time as that, Valve announced they're launching a program to open up the HTC Vive's Steam VR object tracking system to developers. The license is royalty-free, although you do have to send someone to a $3,000 training course in Seattle, where you will get a hardware reference kit, so I guess that makes it worth it. The sensors will also be sold separately by Triad Semiconductor, and Valve suggested the possibility that third parties would be able to build their own base stations in the future, and even headsets using these sensors. So it's can be used and probably mostly will be used to create accessories for the HTC Vive, but Valve is out there saying, like, you can make whatever you want with this stuff. It doesn't have to be for the Vive.
That's pretty interesting. I was still wrapped up in the it's free, but it's 3,000, but you get the thing that you have to be there, so it's still the price of the thing.
Yeah, it's weird. They even said, like, we want to get rid of that course requirement and allow you to do it remotely. So I'm not sure what all that's about. Maybe there's some liability.
Maybe they'll do it VR, and you can put your headset on and pretend like you're
right?
there.
Exactly.
The classes. But any extra content is amazing. I mean, I'm not, you know me, in my VR hatred of the world, I'm still waiting. I'm letting it all get out there, get it fleshed out, and then once there's some like core base things and I can get into it, I will. But for right now, I'm still in a holding pattern.
So you've tried it, but not liked it. Is basically what you're saying.
Yes. And I again, everybody that is with it yells at me. There's so much stuff now. Look, it's still brand new. I want to have it have like a 6-month break-in period. I want to make sure your eyes don't burn out and your brain doesn't turn to mush and there's more content, and then I will dive right in.
Now, this next one was the top of our subreddit, dailytechnewsshow.reddit.com. Sheriff Jerry Larpenter of the Terrebonne Parish in Louisiana has been accused of corruption and fraud over and over by an anonymous blogger at exposedat.in. That's exposed and then the capital DAT.in. So deputies submitted affidavits of criminal defamation and obtained search warrants to seize evidence Tuesday in the house of police officer Wayne Anderson of the Halma Police Department. Halma is the parish seat of Terrebonne Parish. He is a former parish deputy as well, so that is a little intriguing. Anderson was placed on paid leave after the raid without official notification why, and denies that he is the author of Exposed Dat. The warrant claimed criminal defamation of an insurance agent named Tony Alford. Blog posts from Exposed Dat relating to Alford point to a citation for dumping radioactive waste in Montana by a company that he co-owns with the parish president. And another post used public records to note that Sheriff Larpenter awarded a contract to Alford, while at the same time Sheriff's wife manages Alford's office. So there's a little bit of a connection there. Civil rights people are saying, look, he's just exposing public records. That's not against the law. They shouldn't be raided. Of course, Anderson himself says, I don't do the blog anyway. I don't know why they're going after me. It's certainly interesting in lots of ways, just as typical human drama, but also about kind of the idea of whistleblowers and blogger rights.
Everything should go through Julian Assange. Everything should be going through WikiLeaks. Like, if you have information and you want to protect yourself, because I can't believe that he's not involved somewhat, but I also believe that he shouldn't be arrested for giving out, again, public record information, especially when something's harming the community. Oh, they've killed 40,000% of the wildlife. We've got to arrest him for defamation, though. He told people that we're an evil company and we're losing money. Like, it all sounds so movie cartoonish, but it's real life. And doing the right thing of explaining to people what's going on in their community happens to turn out to be a bad thing, and you can get raided. So like that freaks me out.
Yeah, Shane says that it's pronounced Huma, Louisiana, so apologies to the residents there for mispronouncing their city name.
All 6?
I think it's a little bigger than that, but you're right. It's not a huge metropolis. This whole thing, though, is sort of, you know, I don't know that people are really trusting WikiLeaks much these days either. And so there isn't.
People
really
don't
a
trust
responsible
WikiLeaks
way.
when WikiLeaks doesn't say what they want to hear. We trust WikiLeaks when they talk about Panama and bankers and everybody else in the world. When they talk about your political person that you like, then you don't trust them all of a sudden. You've been trusting them for the last however so long, but now all of a sudden you can't trust what they say. So I don't really know how people feel about that, but that's a kid's game where they now all of a sudden. I've heard a lot of people say, "Oh, you can't believe WikiLeaks." I've never heard anybody say that until now. Like lately, people are saying that.
Pretty cut and dried to me based on what I've seen. Now, granted, I didn't make an exhaustive search of the blog in question here, but the few posts that I was able to look at, including the ones I mentioned, did seem to be drawn from public records. You should not be able, in the United States anyway, to be accused of defamation if what you're saying is true. You have to show malicious intent, and you have to be speaking falsely. So I don't think there's a case here.
And that's what I was saying. How did you get the warrant for that?
Yeah.
How did you convince a judge? Like, what did you tell the judge that he did wrong to get that warrant? Is what I'm thinking, because that's what's got him holding in jail right now. That's what he's got to fight, whatever that false doctrine is. Because doing those two steps, if that's the way it went down, I have no understanding of how that could happen.
I guess you could make cases that pointing to a company in Montana and trying to say that your insurance business in Louisiana is bad are two separate things. But it's a stretch, no matter how you look at it.
Yeah.
The U.S. organization that oversees the gathering of international athletes going on in South America sent a letter to companies who sponsor those athletes that they are not allowed to mention the name of the event itself if they are not sponsoring that event. That is a trademark violation. The letter stipulates that any company who is not media cannot even share or repost anything from the event's social media accounts or reference the event's results. USA Today digital editor Natalie de Blasio posted on Twitter that, in fact, the event's international organization has told its media partners that they are not allowed to turn pictures or videos of the event into animated GIFs, GIF-Vs, GFYs, or even WebM formats, as well as any short video formats, and they specifically refer to Vine. So we're just going to be safe. Owen, I'm not even going to mention the event's name just in case.
Bling, 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 ring games. Bling, 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 rings. There are circles of colors of words.
Getting a bunch of interference on your connection there. I believe the event in question may be trying to silence you.
I'm sorry. I tried to do it musically.
Yeah.
That a song would work and skip by, but apparently they shut every.
I don't know if you need to unplug and plug back in, but you're all crunchy all of a sudden.
Oh, I can hear me. For real.
Yeah, for real. I do think it is. I do think they may be after you for some reason. I don't know. In the meantime, if you're someone who would like to watch that event in question in the United States, NBC will stream all the events on its website and through the NBC Sports app. PlayStation View customers can authenticate for the NBC Sports app if you're a cord cutter, so you can sign up for PlayStation View's 30-day free trial. That will get you there. Sling TV's Blues subscribers can get some NBC channels through the Sling app, although you can't authenticate with the Sports app with Sling. Unauthenticated users can stream 30 minutes on their first visit, 5 minutes each subsequent day. If you're in other countries, you're much better off. BBC is going to have it on the iPlayer in the UK. In Australia, 7 is going to stream its live broadcasts online for free through its websites and apps, although you will have to pay $20 if you want to get the coverage that isn't available on the broadcast. Did they let your voice go free, Owen?
Am I back?
Yeah, you're totally back now.
I feel like there's a helicopter or somebody's I feel like I just got sniped out or something.
Right.
As soon as I said bling 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 ring games.
Okay, you're fine now.
From the world.
It would be too obvious if they did it again, I guess.
Yeah, that's really. I can't go outside right now. There's probably a helo out there.
But seriously, like the Super Bowl is another one that does this, where they stretch the definition of trademark law as far as they think they can possibly scare people into complying with it, to the point that you're not allowed to make an animated GIF, that you're not allowed to reference the results, the actual factual things that happened. That's ridiculous.
And the biggest thing about sports in general right now is they were so far behind and all that stuff. Like, okay, the 76ers are really good. They have a really good marketing team. They put out their own GIFs and loops of plays during the game. While the game's going on, they're putting out stuff. And you see a lot of those people resharing them. Now, when you see like the Golden State Warriors, you see a lot of people on their TV taping and recording because they don't have someone just spitting out clips for them. Like, if you want to get ahead of it and you want people to stop copyrighting your content, put it out for them so they can find it. When you see somebody get a monster dunk or a super play, tape it and put it out there on the internet. Now they're doing deals where they're trying to get that, but everybody's just behind the ball on that subject.
I tell you what, I know that as a consultant, this is going to drive you crazy. The one thing you don't do is tell anyone not to retweet you.
Yeah, and again, that's what they do. They say, oh, they're copyright. I was like, they've got 40,000 likes and 20,000 shares. That's all for you. It's got the NBA logo on it. Now, if it'd be different, they plastered their name all over it or something like that. But you want this, and if you want it, then okay, learn from that. Okay, they did that. You don't ask them to take it down. You copy and emulate what they're doing, so next time you can directly capitalize on it. They've given you a roadmap to what to do. And the
Absolutely.
Olympics, I don't feel like anybody's going to be really talking about the Olympics because they've shut down every. Oh shit! I don't. Special present. They shut down the ring.
The ring thing.
The ring things without. See what I'm saying? Like you. Okay, that's how frustrating it is.
No, exactly. No, I think you totally made the point right there.
Shut down all the sharing ability of something that is so great, and people are still going to do it. So what do they think they're getting away with? They should spend more time cleaning up the water instead of trying to clean up the internet.
That's a new event, though. The sewage swim.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks to everybody in our subreddit. AU Tiger Fan, Abatuela Condolce, California Carl, Social Savant, Motang, and more. The lazy one's in there today. Thank you, folks, for always bringing good stuff to the subreddit and sharing it with everyone so we could all vote on it. Get in there and vote, folks. DailyTechNewsShow.reddit.com. And that is a look at the headlines. All right, so new 1Password plan was announced earlier this week. They're a password manager, if you're not familiar, very similar to LastPass, and they've been vetted as fairly secure as these things go. But they've got a new plan they announced earlier this week that will cost you $3 a month, but you can use all their apps. You can choose to store your encrypted passwords on their secure servers, although you can still choose to do it yourself on iCloud or Dropbox if you want. And they raised the price of the individual software from $50 to $65, so you don't have to pay the $3 a month, but you're going to pay $65 if you want to get a brand new installation of this. The upgrade is still sold at a discount. Oh, and this finally was the straw that broke the camel's back for you. Why is that? Let
me make some tea so I can sip it, so I can explain the anger in my heart about this whole situation.
That's instant tea.
I'm instantly upset about it because you brought it up. Don't judge me on my teas.
Fair enough.
Everything is rentable right now. All these products that people are licensing that used to be able to buy. Adobe. Now I got to pay $30 a month for the rest of my life. And granted, it was really expensive, but you know, I just had it and I owned it and I could wait a generation or two for I had to update. I didn't need the newest one because I knew the core product. Everything is from our Droppler, Dropbox, SoundCloud. And I know they think that it's a microeconomy, but literally right now, I tallied it up because I knew we were going to talk about this today. I'm spending $322 a month on micro payments for software. That's $3,000 a month, $3,600 a year.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on. Like, I just can't. They just need to make things and sell it and be done with it. Like,
but they wouldn't be moving to a subscription model if they weren't making more money off that, right?
Oh,
I mean, it makes sense.
They make more money off of it, and the subscription model is the infinite way to make money. That's why your cable company charges you monthly, and they don't just say, hey, give me $3,000, I'll call you in 5 years or never again. I understand that, but I mean, they think that they can do it too, especially with this new app economy, right? But even with the apps, a lot of them, I just buy them once and I'm done. I don't want apps to start coming at me like how Apple Music and Spotify are, which are justifiable because they give me new stuff every month. Spotify gives me new content every month. 1Pass, I have 1Pass one time, and that's it. Like, okay, even if you want,
until there's an upgrade. And then you have to decide whether to pay for the upgrade.
And that's the thing.
So at $3 a month with the new price, and I know you only paid $50, but if somebody were comparing from the start today, $65 versus $3 a month, it would take them 22 months to make the $65 version pay off. And at that point, at 22 months, you're probably going to be wanting to upgrade to a new version anyway.
Let that be my choice, as opposed to nickel and diming me. Again,
it is. They're selling the $65 version of it.
They are, but not everybody is. Don't try to twist
All right,
the
all right.
subject of the nickel and the subscription nickel dime world. Again, when you're creating new content, hey, Patreon, people want to donate to Patreon. I understand that. I'm getting new content all the time. You make this one thing, and then you want to do an update whenever who's what's it when you want. I don't know when that is. I'm still paying every month for it, and it's still the same thing. Just stop it.
I think a lot of people agree with you and wonder why this is happening. And the answer isn't just greed. The answer isn't just money. Gartner estimates by 2020, 80% of vendors will change to subscription. IDC says software sold as a subscription may reach 31% of total software spending by 2018. And the reason is they are starting to package it in with cloud services, so hosting and storage. And this makes more sense on the enterprise side than it does maybe on the consumer side. But you see this with 1Password. They're saying, hey, for $3 a month, you not only get the software, we're also going to provide a secure server for you to store it on that'll always be there, and that'll sync it across devices for you. This is the service we're providing. So they're blending that in. They are trying to provide you more than you would if you just bought the software on your own. And at the same time, it actually lowers their costs, because instead of having to throw a bunch of features that will compel you to want to upgrade to the new version, they can just add features as they develop them going forward and push them out to all the subscribers, which is actually a subscriber benefit as well, don't you think, to have that?
On this topic, does it seem like I want to hear logical, rational explanations of anything? Does it feel like I care about any of those things you just said to me? Of course you're right. Of course they're viable, but I don't like it. Okay,
sure.
And when that online server gets hacked and 50 million emails gets bumped out, do I get my $62 back for the last year that I've been paying for your cloud security and storage and growth? No, I get a I'm sorry email if lucky. Okay.
Well, and frankly, if their servers get hacked, your computer could get hacked too if you're storing it locally. So that depends on the encryption, right? On the other hand, though, what I want to ask you is there any way a subscription would ever make sense to you for software? Is there any price that you'd be like, that's low enough that I like the idea that I'll always have the most recent version without having to pay an arm and a leg?
I just told you I'm paying $300 a month. I got a lot of things that apparently are worth the money that they charge me because I need them and I use them. I couldn't get by without using Adobe. Again, I'm complaining about it, but I do understand the greatness of it. I can upload a photo and edit it on my tablet or my phone or my wherever, and it's all there in the cloud. I get it. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of it being everywhere. I don't want it to grow. Just a side note, my uncle hasn't worked in 30 years. He created a program that's leased out to the government, and they write him a check every year. He has a little house in Miami and a boat. And
Nice.
Everybody's, oh, what do you do? I made this software. And the only thing to myself is, who's still using software from 30 years ago? And how are they still cutting this man these checks?
Yeah.
You can't make something new? So at least I understand how it works. I just need to lease something myself. I need to make some kind of program, charge people 82 cents a month. And
yeah, because this is infesting the real world, too. I mean, there's subscription clothing from places like Stitch Fix and Latote. There's Loot Crate, Mistobox does subscription coffee, Blue Bottle does subscription coffee.
But no.
At a certain point,
that's
that
different.
kind of stuff is going to... yes, it is, because you're always getting something, but at a certain point, people are going to feel this subscription fatigue that you're feeling. Like, this is not unique to you. People are going to get tired of having to pay all the time for stuff.
Yeah, again, like the Loot Crate thing, or like the Healthy Surprise where somebody gets fruits, vegetables, snacks every month, or the Blue Bell, send your food. Yeah, people are going to get burnt out. It's a lot to do, but at least those services are like, I'm getting food. I need food. I need sustenance. Do I really need 1Pass? Can I live without Droplr? Do I really need Dropbox? Like, you start thinking about that, and then like Loot Crate, of course I need all my toys and gadgety things and little monsters. So, but people are going to get burnt out. It's too much. I don't know how they think that everybody has all this money.
Well, to me, the key is a company like Dropbox should be looking at this and saying, all right, what you're going to get tired of, okay, your options, right, is I can keep paying for all these little pieces of software, or I can do it myself. Like, I could download and install KeyPass and run that myself on my local network with my local drives and secure it myself, but I don't want to do that. Maybe I'm lazy, maybe that's just too much for me and I don't have time for that, so I want somewhere in the middle. And that's where a storage company should be able to partner with open source software and say, hey, you can download KeePass, we'll store it and host it for you, and it's just all part of your Dropbox subscription. The key is becoming the player that gives you the one bill that you look at and go, oh, okay, it's not a bunch of little charges amounting up to this big charge. It's one charge that is manageable and I accept and allows me to do all of these different things.
And I'm getting more bang for my buck. And every one of these services should offer the one-year buyout like SoundCloud and Dropbox does. A lot of them don't. They just say, oh, this is what it is, and that's it. And I don't like that either.
Yeah, and honestly, I think that's what Microsoft is up to with Office 365 and all of the versions of software going on every phone and every tablet and free upgrades to Windows 10 is we want you to just use our software, and we're going to charge you for the services on the other end. We'll charge you for Office. We'll charge you for OneDrive. We'll try to get you to use that storage and hosting side of things.
Or you can just go to Google and get all that stuff for free.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how long that stays for free.
Even how long is this free? It's been free long enough to where if they charge me money, I can't even complain about it.
But I mean, I can use Office for free online. I only have to pay if I want to increase my storage or be able to access it across. Do some syncing across devices.
Yeah.
So, and I think Google does. They don't charge as quickly, but there are limits that you can hit with Google where they're like, you've used up your free storage. Now we want you to charge. So
yeah, and Microsoft is just late to the game on that because a lot of people don't. Every time I try to explain to somebody that, I use Google, I use Gmail.
Yeah,
like they don't even think about Microsoft right now because it's new.
I tell you what, I use Microsoft Office because there are a couple of people who have to have an Excel or a Word document that I work with. And I love being able to pay for the subscription version and not have to worry about going and buying a big box of software for $300 every 2 years. So
yeah,
there is that advantage. We got a pick from Kevin in OMG. I think my shoes just melted to the asphalt, Augusta, Georgia. He says, any list lets you create multiple lists from grocery list to birthday presents and things my kids say. Any list I want. I share the grocery list with my wife, and when we see something that we need, we put it on the list, and the first person to go to the store always has the latest version of the list. You can also put in recipes and add the ingredients to the shopping list with just a click. So it's built around recipe management and grocery shopping, but you can use it for all kinds of lists. Seems pretty versatile. I haven't tried it myself, but if you think it's worth a try, Kevin recommends it. You can go to iTunes and look at it, and we have a link to that in the show notes as well. Send your picks to us, folks. Feedback at dailytechnewsshow.com. You can find more picks at dailytechnewsshow.com/picks. Do you know Russ Pitts, Owen? Used to work for The Escapist, and now he is an independent. He worked for Polygon as well. He's an independent.
The name sounds familiar, and I don't know it, so yes.
I used to work with him at Half Price Books in Austin in the 90s. I don't know if you'd know
That's
him
where I
there.
remember him from.
That's probably it. But Brian in Pittsburgh wrote in and pointed out that Russ has relaunched his stage of development documentary Kickstarter. The last time it didn't quite make it to funding, so he's refocused it. They're going to try to tell the story of the indie game community in Chicago. That's the first thing he's going to kickstart. And then if they get to stretch goals, they'll be able to add other stories that they want to tell as well. So Brian wanted to amplify the signal, and I like this idea as well. I'd like to see what Russ can come up with. His original concept video that he made for the first Kickstarter was really good, and he's got some interesting stories to tell. So you can go check that out. Look for Stage of Development on Kickstarter. We'll have the link in the show notes there. Finally, Craig thought this was interesting. A mall in Lafayette, Louisiana, I guess it was a kind of a high-end strip mall, liked the extra attention of Pokemon Go players at first, but have changed their mind and said they are no longer welcome. They've actually gone to Niantic and gone through the process to apply to get their Pokestops removed. They said it was a nuisance to paying customers. People were throwing trash everywhere, sitting on top of their cars and smoking, driving while playing Pokemon Go, taking up parking spaces. They even reference a visit from a SWAT team. I kind of figured that might not have anything to do with Pokemon Go particularly, but could be random. This is the first mall I've heard of that actually said, nope, not worth it. We're going to remove the Pokestops. We don't like this riffraff in here.
That must be the mall that nobody kind of goes to. Like, you know how there's like 3 malls?
Yeah.
The mall that's super high end, the mall that you're comfortable going to, and the mall, I haven't been to that mall in like 8 years. And it seems like it might be that kind of mall if everybody's hanging out outside.
It's apparently the high end mall, though.
Oh, well then that might be why the SWAT team showed up. Yeah, otherwise we'll clean up and play a little Pokemon while they're there and get
Uh-huh.
people out.
Yeah, maybe.
It's a hit or miss thing with that because you want the foot traffic, but again, so much foot traffic with non-shoppers, it takes up parking spots, it takes up spaces. Forget all the littering and things like that. You got people to run around and clean up, but it can overwhelm people. That's what I've heard from like one of my friends down the shore. He has a little T-shirt shop, and when it first happened on the weekend, he had a wave of people just playing the game, and all he was thinking about is there could be people stealing left and right, and I can't pay attention to how many people are in this area right now. Like, there's so many people, and that means like 40 or 50 people, I guess, were there playing the game.
Honestly,
trying to catch
though,
Pokemon.
just apply for the Pokestops to be removed. That's all you need to do. You don't have to make a big deal out of it. Once they're gone, people go away.
And some store owners don't know anything about that. So that's one reason I had the conversation. He called me and asked me, like, how do I make this stop? Because if you don't have a technical person in your life, you're just thinking you have to deal with it. You don't even know that you can have your Pokestop removed or changed or anything like that. So knowledge is power.
Yeah, absolutely. So do know that. You don't have to write up a long list of grievances as to why you removed the Pokestop, although I guess maybe it's fair to be transparent. That is it for this episode of Daily Tech News Show. My sincere pleasure to have you on the show, Owen J.J. Stone. Let folks know about IQMZ, what you got going on there. I was on your Doc Tales podcast recently. That was a blast.
Woo! Yeah, I do that. That's a podcast where I just sit down and tell stories and talk to friends. You were on there. Georgia Dow was on. I actually just re-released a tape that I found of an interview I had with Jason Calacanis from 2010 that I could never put on YouTube because they had that 15-minute limit. And it's all kinds of fatherhoods. I think I called him like a black man on the inside and a white man on the outside. The conversation got crazy, but it was super fun. We do an IQMZ Tech, which is like a minute or two tech show review thing. It's trying to be daily if I can get it going, and just fun stuff. Sports show that we're doing, so we're about to crank back up. But just go to IQMZ.com and just click on stuff. There's stuff there.
What's the mnemonic for IQMZ? How do people remember that?
It used to be for Inquiring Minds Media, which is the name of my company. Okay. So it used to be inquiringminds.com, but people can't spell. And back in 2002, when websites weren't like everybody knew them, people were like, what's your website again? And I would say Inquiring Minds, and no one could spell inquiring because people, I guess, weren't that bright. So I turned it into IQMZ, which people still ask you, what's IQMZ? But at least it's 4 letters, and you could get to it. So that's what happened. IQMZ is actually not even a good acronym for Inquiring Minds.
You could call it
I and the Q and the M and the Z in it. It's just they're spaced out letters.
I quit making za.
I should think of a good acronym for it.
Yeah.
I should. I'll work on that.
Audience contest or something.
That's good homework.
Anyway, IQMZ.com. Now you won't forget it, folks. Thank you so much, Owen J.J. Stone, a.k.a. O'Docta. Good to have you back on the show. DailyTechNewsShow.com/support is the place to go to keep this show going on the air, or Patreon.com/DTNS if you're willing to help us out. We've got some perks for you over there, Patreon.com/DTNS. If you just want the headlines of the day in less than 10 minutes, we have a new show called Daily Tech Headlines at DailyTechHeadlines.com. Our email address is feedback@dailytechnewsshow.com. You can catch the show live Monday through Friday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern at alphageekradio.com and diamondclub.tv, and our website is dailytechnewsshow.com. Back on Monday with the triumphant return of Veronica Belmont. Talk to you then.
This show is part of the Frog Pants Network. Get more at frogpants.com.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.
Shane's got one. I quit TMZ. The T is silent.
Yeah, I never even thought about having a good acronym for it because I knew when I did it was bad, but it was one of those things I was looking for something short.
Yeah.
And I bought it and I keep it. It's just crazy how people can't spell. I'm like, how can you not spell inquiring?
Yeah.
Spell check.
You can. That's my thing. Like, you can just look it up if you can't spell it, but it was a long domain, so. Nobody ever has asked me that question before.
I just wanted a way to try to remember it. That's all. Yeah. So Owen, as you probably know, we just stick around afterwards and stream while we pick the show title and I publish and stuff. If you need to go whenever you need to go. If you want to hang around, that's cool too. All casual.
Yeah, I'm not doing anything. I have to do the other show tonight after I get done with you guys. So I'm stuck sitting here anyway.
Oh man, you've got a whole day.
I do.
All right, what do we got at Showbot.tv?
We got redacted athletic competition. So it's the
Oh, for
sports
the
event
Olympics,
that cannot be named.
right.
Pokemon gone. Olympics ban gifts bring world peace.
Games that must not be named.
How crazy was that my mic cut out as soon as I started to sing
It
my
was
song?
weird.
That was really creepy. Like, I thought you were messing with me. I was like, oh, he's messing with me like he's doing a bit. And I saw your eyes. You're like, no, your mic. And I'm like, whoa.
Well, and I thought maybe it would just go away, like it was a passing thing, ha ha ha. And then it was like, oh shit, no, it didn't go away. I like it's a fee country.
Maybe.
All right.
The Bug Apple. Spotify plays Radar Love.
NOlymPICS.
NOlymPICS.
NOlymPICS is good too. Oh, NOlymPICS. I get it. I see you.
NOlymPICS.
There's a GIF restriction, even works on many levels.
Yeah. It's a triple entendre.
Mm-hmm. What you said.
Very good. Southern Blog Justice. If you like it, you got to put a trademark on it. Let the games begin after this message. That's NBC. It's NBC. Fee lease candidate software.
Subscription vampirism.
Yeah, they're sucking you dry, bro. For real.
Subscription fatigue. I like that. It's very.
We haven't used that before? I guess not.
Not that I've been with you guys.
Yeah, that's a good one. We talk about it on Cord Killers all the time. I guess that's why.
Well, yeah, subscription fatigue. I can see that being fatiguing, which is why I use mostly freeware software for 80 to 90%.
All right, so do we go with subscription fatigue, which is good and describes the main topic, or do we go with NOlymPICS because it's so meta?
I don't think it.
Do you have an opinion?
I'm leaning towards NOlymPICS because in the vast sea of shows, what's the difference in searchability and the title as opposed to the funness of the viewer?
What do you think, Roger?
I'm just SEO set. So
exactly. See, I'm going against the SEO mindset in the sea of shows. But you're right. Subscription.
Well, the thing is, NOlymPICS makes sense to people who've already seen the show. I don't know if it will make sense. Because, like, if I see that, and I didn't know you guys talked what was discussed on the show. Like, I
could pull out my CNET hat and say that a word like fatigue is a negative word that turns people away from clicking.
That's a good answer. Or people that watch the show are going to watch the show, and if you just happen to step by the show, you're not going to go away from the show because it says NOlymPICS. You might just want to know what NOlymPICS means.
Maybe.
I'm just going against your butter. That's all. I'm just debating you.
What butter? I have no butter.
Me either. But I'm going against it. Work with me here. I'm making up
lunch.
as I go.
Throw me a bone.
Fine. NOlymPICS.
Bling, 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 bling. Rings. Bling,
I like the ring, by the way. That's
all that just sounds like is Chariots of Fire to me.
Bling, 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 rings. That's what, Roger.
The ring is what makes it.
In the Olympic Games of name choosing, I am the champion. No time for fatigue losers. I got a gold medal for the world.
Thank you, Vangelis. The Vangelis of podcasting. Owen, I've always said so. All right. Well, Roger wins the least enthusiastic title approval ever. Says Shane.
It's the most teen acceptance speech ever. Thanks.
So you're gonna watch the those games that are happening in the South America?
I'm gonna watch them. I'm just super apprehensive that something bad's gonna happen, and I've never had that feeling before. Yeah. And I really to be honest with you, I don't mind watching something happen and there's a car accident. You walk by, you kind of look. I feel like I'm watching that, and I'm just somebody's gonna get sick, somebody's gonna get Zika, and it's just gonna taint the whole thing. Because I usually watch whenever I turn it on, I usually watch whatever's on. Yeah. Because everything's going on all day long, all night. I love watching the soccer because I don't like soccer any other time. Basketball, I watch even though they're blowing people out. I watch the first half because I want to see at least how good the other teams are. But I'm just so worried about all the bad stuff, and I don't know if it's because they put all that in my mind. I don't even worry about terrorism. Like, I don't even worry about terrorism in my own home, but I'm so fixated on, man, these athletes train so hard and work so hard, and there's just problems everywhere. They couldn't even open the gate to the venue.
They needed bolt cutters. I saw that.
Oh,
They
man.
lost the key.
Yeah, I'm just like, what kind of show are you guys
Well,
running over there?
there were so many.
I think you're right. It's not gonna be like 1996 type of thing. It's gonna be some failure of infrastructure. It seems like would be the most likely thing. I'm not saying I hope that happens, but that seems like the kind of thing that could happen.
I think
everybody thought the same thing in Athens too, and everything was fine there. So
I don't think anything bad will happen during an event. I think all the negative stuff that people worry about will happen away from the games. Whether, for example, the Australian team got robbed or something like that.
Yeah, and that happens.
And of course, I don't know if he was a Russian. He was attached to the Russian embassy or whatever. He was held up, and he grabbed the guy and he pulled him into the car and shot him with his own gun or something.
Wait, what?
Who?
Was that? Let's see, Russian.
You said he, but you didn't say a person. You didn't identify who you were
I was
talking
going to
about.
say the worst thing I heard was the way they were treating Hope Solo.
Well, so the Russians deny it was a diplomat, but there was that one of its diplomats was involved in the fatal shooting of a robber in Rio right before security road.
I feel like I'm not getting all the details here.
So consular staff indicates. Originally, it was reported that a Russian diplomat in a car at an intersection was held up by a robber on a motorbike.
Oh, okay.
At gunpoint, and that he grabbed the guy, or the alleged diplomat grabbed the robber, pulled him off his bike, and then shot him with his own gun. But the Russian embassy denies it was a Russian.
So if I could restate the story to make sure I have it right, someone was robbed on a motorcycle and pulled the gun away from the robber and shot the robber. And at one point, it was thought that the person being robbed was a Russian diplomat, but the Russians say no, it was not.
Yes,
okay.
A man was robbed in his car. He
was in his car, and the robber was on a motorcycle. Okay.
Exactly.
Got it.
Sorry.
That's, like I said, it's too much stuff going on.
The problem was I hadn't heard any of that, so you were already jumping to the conclusion that I heard about the robbery, and I was like, well, what happened?
Yeah, I assumed too much.
Did you see what they did to Hope Solo during her game?
Yes.
No, I didn't see that.
So she wore she wore a beekeeper's hat, and she had this like Zika lotion, and on Instagram she was wearing the suit and the hat, and it had the lotion. It was like, this is mine, don't ask me, I'm not sharing, I'm not putting my life on the line for nobody. So then every time she touched the ball during the game, and they love her in Brazil. Like, when she was there playing against them, they cheered for her. They love her. I guess they like women that beat up people. Anyway, every time she touched the ball, they just chanted Zika, Zika.
My gosh.
Like, I'm like, man, talk about putting a hex on somebody.
Turn the crowd against you right there.
Oh, man, the whole stadium was just Zika, Zika.
That's nuts.
It's funny. It's horrible, but that's just funny.
I wanted to see the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, isn't that tonight?
Isn't that tonight?
It's happening at, I think, 3 or 3:30 in Brazil, Eastern Time. Or Pacific Time. And then the broadcast will be slightly delayed on the East Coast by an hour and begin at 7 Eastern. And then we get it at 7 Pacific, so we get it 4 hours delayed.
Okay.
I don't like delays of things. I want to see it all live whenever it's going. Stop delaying me.
I don't mind them doing 2, right? Like, give me the option to watch it live and then do a rebroadcast at 7 for those who don't get off work or whatever. Like, that's fine. But this year, NBC got it right. They're doing everything live online, no matter what it is.
Oh, okay.
And then in the evening, they're doing sort of kind of the highlight reel with delayed broadcasts and such, except for the opening ceremonies. That's the only thing they're not streaming live. And same for the closing ceremonies.
But I'm excited to see. I mean, not to say anything bad, but all the American athletes are on a yacht. I mean, not a yacht, a cruise ship.
No, that's the basketball team, isn't it? It's like
I thought it's not.
I don't think it's the entire American.
I watched something on SportsCenter this morning, and they said it was everybody.
Oh, okay. I was under the impression it was certain American athlete.
I thought it was NBA too because I heard the NBA was on a cruise ship, but I think I heard that's what they said this morning on SportsCenter. They definitely said it. Whether it's true or not is to be seen, I guess.
I mean, it's actually a pretty smart way of getting around the issues.
Especially with the housing and the food and the no beds and putting up your own shower curtains and all the other stuff that one guy who's he plays for the
Australian.
Golden State. Yeah, he used to play for Golden State Warriors. He's been complaining big time on Twitter.
But he's Australian and he's playing on the Australian national team for the Olympics. Yeah. And there's a picture that he posted of him erecting the shower curtain for the shower.
Yeah. And his bed, it's like a kid-sized bed because he's 7'2". They have like standard.
To be fair,
beds.
most beds are probably kid-sized to him.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's like, and they got a standard-sized bed there. I was like, even if they had like a queen in there, you still wouldn't fit it. Like, you're complaining like you don't need a California king or something.
Yeah, right.
Or a
she
custom
just
bed.
needs two twins, and you just put them one in
At
front
the top
of the other.
Yep, there you go.
So Bab7880 in the chat room says that they live near the Lafayette Mall that shut down its Pokestops, and confirms that it is in an upper scale part of town.
An upper scale as opposed to upscale. Nice.
Upper scale.
Like upper state New York versus upstate.
Oh, and says it's not really a mall, more of a shopping center. So it's a strip mall, yeah.
Well,
it's a rich man strip mall.
I was about to say, how do you have an upper? Nah, that's a lie. We have a thing called the Promenade, and it's a strip mall, but it's got Guess and Gucci and and Apple Store.
That's like Santana Row and.
Yeah, I was just about to rag on the strip mall, but then I was like, yeah, they do have nice ones, I guess. They do.
All right. Well, that is it for our stream, ladies and gentlemen. Have a lovely weekend. Enjoy the athletic contests if you wish, and we will talk to you on Monday. Goodbye.
Monday.
Ring things!